Make Your Mark, where we help artists break through the noise and to find themselves in music. I'm Sol.
And I'm Greg.
And today we have a very special guest on the air with us, Joe Tichy of Overshadow Records. How you doing, bro?
Chilling, hanging out.
Good to be here with you. Thank you for coming on, man.
Always, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man. Dude, like Joe's an interesting person. Like, he may not feel like it, but this dude has been in the game for a hot minute. Like, a hot minute.
I only met him 10 minutes ago. He seems humble. That's what I can tell so far.
Well,
It's only been like 20, what am I, 42? 28 years.
28
20
years.
years in the game.
Yeah.
That is
Well,
no small thing.
No, not by any means. He used to work at Victory Records, right?
Yeah, it was a little label in Chicago. Some bands were on there.
So you were out in Chicago for a time?
Yeah, I'm from Chicago. Yeah.
Okay.
I moved to California 11 years ago now. Yeah.
Okay, so you're
Yeah,
settled here
yeah,
now.
Yeah.
What prompted that? Like,
I was in minor league baseball and sports video production. I moved to Modesto January of 2014 from Chicago, which everyone questions why you go from Chicago to Modesto. I question it too. It's a weird move. But yeah, I got a full-time job in minor league baseball doing video production and in-game entertainment. I was in charge of all the music, video production, running a video board, operating a staff of 30.
Damn.
No, Modesto was like 15. When I went to Stockton and worked for the AAA hockey team there, it was like 30 people.
damn.
But it kind of let me dip my toes in sports and music and video and all that kind of stuff. So I was like intermingling all of my loves and passions and knowledge, and yeah.
That's tight.
Yeah.
Like, what was the Victory days like for you? Like, I know you have like stories from that. So like,
Yeah.
He's like, here we go.
yeah, like what prompted Victory?
Man, so I'm going to take you back to 1993. I was 10.
2 years before I was born,
Yeah.
dog.
I was
In the game.
I went to my first live concert, and it was Jimmy Buffett. It was on the Fruitcakes tour. Can I say Fruitcakes? Is that allowed? Is that
I mean, it was the name of the tour.
still-
I mean,
Yeah.
it was his album. But yeah, I went to that, and I was like, man, this is wild. It was at a place that got torn down in the suburbs of Chicago, and there were like 40,000 people there, and I was like,
whew.
it was parrot heads. That's what they called them. Rest in peace, Jimmy Buffett, by the way. But yeah, there were like 40,000 people there just losing their minds, and I'm like, it was a good show. I mean, I was like, my one uncle, like he's a big music guy. Both my uncles are music people, different kinds of music. I was like 10. I was like, man, this is wild. I went and saw Jimmy Buffett with that one uncle, I think 2 years or 3 years in a row. And I was like, this is cool. And then I got into like country music, which I don't like to admit, but it was like Garth Brooks and Dunn, Travis Tritt, like that, like Reba
Stuff. Like
Reba
I feel like that
McEntire, like Faith Hill, Tim McGraw, like all that's like when Tim McGraw and all that stuff was like, that was real country, not this new crap that like Morgan Wallen and all. That's not country.
studio, like the stadium country, I feel like it has its place, but like definitely I do like gravitate to the old country way more than anything. If I were like to like listen to it, that's definitely where I would go to.
Being on those tours, regardless, though, I mean, country tours they're very successful a lot of the time.
Well,
They're a whole different monster.
Well,
Yeah.
not like nowadays though, like the country that's coming out now, like I do kind of have respect for some of that, because a lot of the people that are doing country now were in screamo and emo, and like they became studio musicians. Now they're touring musicians. Tyler Rich, he's from Yuba City. He was in a screamo band on Rise called 10 Falls Fourth, which Victory distributed that record, and I was at Victory when 10 Falls Fourth came out, and I'm like holy crap. And like now I'm like boys with Tyler Rich, and like we always he messaged me like out of nowhere on my birthday last month. He's like, happy birthday, my dude. I'm like, oh, why are you talking to me? It's like, and I was like, damn.
You forget how closely related you are to these people
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I met him drunken one night at Goldfield Midtown. I think he was in between shows or coming to just hanging out with Goldfield Midtown, just to hang out. And Timmy, who was his old front of house guy, used to tour with Bayside, and I was like, it's wild that everything comes full circle.
Yeah.
I also diverted from the original question 20 minutes ago. But
No. I mean, I think that's like the best part about it because like there's a story there, right? Like we all have like our first like concert that we go to, and that kind of just catapults the rest of whatever, and it's all defining that moment. That moment.
No disrespect to people who say their first concert was, we'll say Metallica or whatever. Like, I mean, I have no shame in saying my first concert was Jimmy Buffett. I mean, I've seen Garth Brooks, I've seen Brooks and Dunn, I've seen Reba McEntire. Like, I was like, that introduced me to live music, and I'm like, like when I was 10 years old, I'm like, this is something I want to be a part of. But it really kind of hit, I would say, 94. I was 11. There's an alternative radio station in Chicago called Q101, and I heard Green Day. That Dookie came out February 1st, 1994. You're going to hear a lot of numbers from me because it's very date related.
Just the way you think?
Yeah,
That's tight.
But I remember going to Record City in Lake Zurich, Illinois. It was an independent record store. I bought Dookie on cassette, and I bought Offspring Smash on cassette. I want to say I bought a Jimmy Buffett record that day, too. But I remember getting Green Day's cassette, and the tape was blue. The tape inside the cassette was blue, and I'm like, this is weird. And I put it in, and they were cursing. I was like, I heard fuck. I'm like, and they were talking about masturbating and fuck and this. I was like, whoa, this is something different. And then my other uncle was into like Rage Against the Machine and Fugazi.
Yes.
And bands like that, and I was like, what is this? And then like Nirvana, Soundgarden, the whole Seattle scene. Like I love Nirvana, I love Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, like all that was like, I'm like, huh, okay. And
City of grunge, man.
Yeah, yeah. And Chris Cornell's, rest in peace him too, but dude's got the voice of an angel.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But yeah, seeing that in like '97 was kind of my introduction to like the live music I'm doing, or not doing, following now, still following. It was July 3rd, again, dates, 1997. I went to a show at the Metro, which is my favorite venue in this country, will always be. It's been around since like 82 or 83, I want to say.
Long time standing.
But I mean, that's where Smashing Pumpkins first played in Chicago. It's in Wrigleyville. One of my favorite bars in this country is right next door. July 3rd, '97. It was Helmet, Melvins, and Skeleton Key. And it's the only time I've ever worn earplugs at a show. And during the Melvins, I was like, I can't hear right, so I took them out. I've never worn earplugs since. And I've been to 1,800 shows, 2,000 shows in my life. I'm like,
putting in that work.
Yeah.
A lot of shows.
Yeah.
You're just like, it's all right.
Yeah. I was like, I need to hear. But then, and in hindsight, I'm like, I'm not going to hear at some point in my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just that show kind of like opened my eyes. And then I think like 3 weeks after that show, I went to my first Warped Tour. So that would have been, I think, 3 or 4 years into Warped Tour, into their existence. And it rained all day. A bunch of bands canceled. I saw Fred Durst get electrocuted that day.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah. I think I want to say 8 to 10 bands tried to play that day. It was in the parking lot of where the Chicago Bulls and Blackhawks play. I saw Lagwagon, Pennywise, Descendants, Social D, and the Boss Tones.
So punk and ska. That
Yeah.
makes sense
Yeah.
as to why
Yeah.
you saw them, because they don't care.
Yeah. And I think Sugar Ray played acoustic. Limp Bizkit tried to play. And I think I was going to a porta potty, and I saw this dude in a lime green suit like standing next to me. And I was like this dude's in a full-on suit. I was like, what are you wearing, dude?
Well, like suit, blazer, and
blazer,
slacks.
pants, tie. Yeah, blazer, pants, tie. Like
at a festival.
But
Hey, bro, it's a look.
All right.
you know who that dude was? It was Dickie Barrett from the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. And
Hey.
he was just standing in the porta potty line like next to me. I'm 14 years old. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh,
like,
you're
like
a real person?
That dude, and that's when the impression that I get came out. which is their biggest song, other than Someday I Suppose, which is in Clueless. But yeah, I was like, oh, he's just a normal dude hanging out. And I bought a Lagwagon long sleeve, picked up every sampler I could possibly get. So that's when like Punkorama from Epitaph was out, Fat Music for Fat People. I think Victory Styles were coming out at that point too, the Victory Style compilations. I bought a Social D Dickies jacket, which I lost while I was on tour because my mom got divorced for the second time and threw away all the shit in my bedroom.
No.
Oh, man.
That's the worst.
Just caught in the crossfire.
Yeah, dude, I was out. That's still,
Dang.
That's
Bad.
that's one of my biggest losses in friggin' life is that Social Distortion Dickies jacket from 1997.
Can't be replaced.
Also, they're playing June 14th at Channel 24, but there's a better show in Roseville June 14th.
Yes, sir.
Which, damn, by the time this episode is posted, it'll probably be after that, huh?
It will.
Dang.
But it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah,
Well,
you know what?
it was a great show. I saw it.
Yeah.
There
you go.
I was
Undoubtedly, he will be there.
This show that's going to be happening in a couple of weeks, it was awesome.
I was at both shows. I did multiplicity. I cloned myself 13 times.
There you go.
Hey, yo. Actually, AMN did that recently.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Well, because now, since this episode will be coming out after that, we cloned our guitarist.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we could talk about that now because it won't be a spoiler?
It won't be a spoiler. So
He's been talking to me about that. That's
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't actually seen a picture of this dude.
I just met him what was it? A week and a half ago? 2 weeks ago?
yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Like, you know what? You're such a big help to this band. If only we had two of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's just happened to be a twin.
Yeah,
And he's like-
with all the same skills and
They don't operate like normal human beings. Watching them rehearse together, they were figuring out stuff that like other people that were in this band prior to us was like, I don't know. And then they were just like, oh yeah, I got it. And I was like, okay.
Your entire band is like one human. You're not like you're obviously 5 individuals, but with all your injuries and everything, like
they're
you're
a cohesive
yeah,
unit.
yeah.
The way they fit together.
Yeah, Tommy is I think the healthiest and the only healthy.
No. Robin definitely is way more healthy.
Well, I mean, Sergio's half a human.
He's
You've
like
got
3/4 of a human.
You've
He's
got
a missing
back and
kidney.
knees. Jesse's got like a one arm.
Yeah. So like for everybody that goes to see us play, Jesse has an injured shoulder, and like he used to play like semi-pro hockey, and so that's like, and he like injured his shoulder before he joined the band, and then he still needs to get surgery. But he's got so much crap that's about to happen right now that he's just like, I can't. And I'm like, and he's still doing blast beats and stuff. Like, I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
how
what I'm
the
saying.
fuck are you
He
doing
works so
this?
hard, plays drums every single day, and he's posting about it constantly. His content game is on point, but
Yeah.
you can't ignore how often this dude practices. So
And he's
imagine
injured.
after this injury is surgically repaired, imagine
Oh yeah, nah, dog.
Yeah,
because like every person is a combination of a certain level of work ethic and talent.
Oh yeah.
Like raw talent and then your work ethic. You could be the hardest working person in the room and still get further than the most talented person in the room. Jesse's already got the work ethic in place. And he's, I'm not going to say he's not talented, of course. He is talented.
Oh yeah.
But now if you remove this, I don't know which arm it is, but like if you remove this potential roadblock, something that's been slowing him down that I wasn't even aware of until right now, watch out.
yeah.
Yeah, the man's a
Like,
monster on the kit.
He really
Like,
is.
And,
I mean,
and once Sergio gets his other kidney, it's
yeah.
the way Sergio is. I told him I was like, it's super Sergio. Like it's
Yep.
it's over.
We make that joke all the time about Sergio because like dude's like playing note for note what Tommy and Robin are playing on a 6-string baritone bass. And it's just so good. Like you watch him sweep and you're like, how the fuck? What? And then you're like, yeah, dude, Dog's like dead after that show. He's like on 300 milligrams minimum of like edibles. And he's just like,
Imagine.
Yep.
he's like, I'm just getting through the pain, dog. And then he just does it and he just right with us.
He doesn't
like
look
like
like
it,
he's
like
in
he's
pain.
not in pain, but he's doing dialysis every other day on tour. And I'm like, how do you do that?
He met up with me at my place before Deftones at Golden One Center. And like he doesn't drink, and me and I I can't remember the dude's name that he brought.
Benny.
Yeah. We were drinking in my apartment, and he's just standing there. I'm like, he's like, I was like, you good? Do you want to sit? He's like, no, I'm fine. Lasted the whole show, met up with me, like, after the show. We went to a bar, and finally he's like, I'm tired. I was like, fine, go home. I was like, dude, you've been hanging out with me since 3. It's like 11, and, like, you're like, I'm tired. And
Dude's a trooper.
Obviously, I drink, but I was like, dude, I can't imagine. Can't imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it's like right now I'm dealing with a minor ankle injury. You saw me on crutches coming in here. So, like, I mean, I've gotten a little taste recently of what it's like to not have all of your usual resources at your disposal.
Yeah.
And how much of a roadblock that can feel like.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with this for a month. This is Sergio's reality.
Yeah.
For 3 years.
And you know, we're not even just talking about Sergio. Like, anybody who, I mean, you know, another good example is Meredith from Victims.
Oh my God, she's
been going
a trooper.
She's been going through so much shit in her personal life. I'm not going to talk about her business, of course, but you know, she posts about it, so I'm not really spoiling anything. Just anytime you want to put yourself out there and do something like music, like being a touring musician, and people think of that as a vacation. Some people will look at it and be like, you know, why don't you just go get a real job?
Tour's so easy.
Yeah, like you only want to be a rock star because it's easy and it's fun all the time. Like, no.
Yeah.
It's not.
We're working harder than most people do at their day jobs. A lot of you sit at desks.
Right.
Sedentary lifestyle. That's nothing wrong with it. But
No.
touring is not for the faint of heart. And when people do that on top of having like crippling physical issues, you know, chronic whatever you got going on,
Right.
and you deal with that pressure on top of traveling, sleeping in a van, dealing with sometimes, you know, sometimes the accommodations at the venues are whack as fuck. I'm not going to name any names, but sometimes they're not as...
we talked in the parking lot about
yeah,
a
like,
couple of venues.
sometimes they're not quite as accommodating as others, so it's not always a comfortable lifestyle. But,
No.
I mean...
I don't want to date myself or sound like the grumpy old man or the jaded industry person, but I mean, I toured in 04 for 02, 03, and 04 on and off, but and I was just doing merch, and I'm like, I mean, there were venues that I would set up merch, and there was a I know the exact venue. I'm not going to name it, obviously. We can talk off air, but there's a venue that the water fountain was broke, and it was just spraying water on our merch.
The whole night?
Yeah. And I was like,
just don't turn it off. Like what?
Yeah. I was like, the guy, and the best part is the guy that the promoter was trying to take a merch cut. I was like, bro, you've like soaked half our fucking merch supply.
Yeah, like merch cut. You ruined our merch.
I was like, you just,
what?
You just took our merch cut.
Like our merch profits by the end of this tour just got cut. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like
Get the fuck out of here.
I was on tour with Bayside doing Warped Tour for, I think we did 5 shows at the end of the 04 Warped Tour. So they were doing their big 10-year party the day after the final date. And me and our guitar tech stayed back. And, I mean, dude, we did 5 shows, and they weren't, like, far drives, but the way Warped Tour worked at that point, I mean, we were on, I think, the Smart Punk stage. I don't know. But it was a small stage. It wasn't main stage.
It's crazy to think that Bayside was on a small stage.
And I mean,
What a time to be alive.
It was 21 years ago.
That's crazy. I mean, you see Bayside now, and they're
they're doing
massive.
friggin' they're doing 2 nights. They're doing 2 nights at every venue for their 25 years. Yeah, 25 years of Bayside now. Jesus. But yeah, we were on a small stage, and I'm selling merch, and we didn't know we had to have a merch spot. Like, we didn't know we had to reserve a tent. And Victory had a tent, and this band called the River City Rebels were like sharing space with Victory's tent because they didn't buy merch either, or they didn't buy a space either. And
I didn't know that was a thing.
I just walked up. I'm like, into Victory's tent. I was like, oh, we're copping copping the space, and they got pissed.
Yeah.
And their singer was like their singer, and I think their merch girl or wherever their tournament. I did like that band a lot, and I felt bad. But they were pissed. Like the first couple shows, I'm like, oh, sorry.
I mean, I feel like
Sorry,
like-
not
like,
sorry.
But no, I mean, but even we did. I think it was Columbus, Buffalo. It was East Coast dates. It was Columbus, Buffalo, Foxborough, Massachusetts was the last date. I remember specifically.
Love playing in Columbus.
And we were out of merch almost to the literally out of merch almost the last day, and Bayside was still doing $1,500 to $1,800 a day in t-shirts, and that's the days when t-shirts were $10, $15.
Yeah,
right. You got to
that's
think
true.
about that time difference.
The good old days, because there was
Adjust for inflation.
dude. Oh yeah, dude. It's
Yeah.
I now it's like I didn't have a problem paying $10 back then. I mean, Greg knows I'm a merch fiend. I have
100%.
400 band t-shirts, 70 hoodies.
Like you don't need to go clothing shopping because you just have a
No,
backlog.
dude, I mean, I know I'm like my buddy Chris that runs the door in Roseville. He's like one of my the first person I met when I moved to Sacramento. He's like, dude, start a TikTok and just put on a different band shirt every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't even know what TikTok is. TikTok is what a clock sounds like to me. TikTok,
yeah.
And unfortunately, I'm like, because it's even when I started SBG and Overshadow, I'm like, I am so behind the times. Like I discovered bands on MySpace. Like MySpace, and when I did A&R at Victory, I was getting mailed demos, like stamp and envelope, open envelope. Like
different style.
Yeah, it's wild. Like how bands are getting discovered, and it irks me to a point these days where it's like bands are getting found on TikTok. I was like, that's so fuck. It's to me, I don't know. It irks me. I'm glad bands are getting discovered, and bands are like, it helps out venues in Sacramento. It helps out venues in markets that bands are coming through and doing this and that.
Mm-hmm.
But bands like both your bands are way more talented than a 16-second TikTok clip.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is there is that opportunity for just immediate discovery.
Yeah.
And I mean, we shot the pilot recently, and we were talking about how it's really important what you do with that moment when you get that the landslide of momentum and attention. How are you going to capitalize on it, or or your number's going to drop right back down after the viral?
Because you could release that next song, and then all of a sudden it's not even breaking 1,000 streams, and you're like, well, what did we do? And you're like, you just missed a window.
Yeah,
and it's such a small window. Yep. It is the smallest window ever. And I hate to say this, but like, there's so many artists that have told me this, and I'm like, damn, I never thought about it that way. But it's like, you almost have to have a backup plan for when it goes randomly viral.
Yep.
Like you gotta have something.
You gotta have a back catalog of songs. Like, I know that like when even like before we got signed to Overshadow, there was an artist that told me, he was like, you want to have like 20 songs like ready. We signed with Overshadow, we had 10. Now we're like approaching like almost 20 before the full record comes out. So it's like,
so you never have to find yourself scrambling.
No. If all of a sudden we just soar, boom, okay, we have another song that we can fill in.
We could drop an album tomorrow.
What I'm learning, it's an ongoing process of me learning. I don't think you need songs. I just think you need content.
Yeah.
Because people like a lot of bands want to still shoot videos and do this and that. Like people's attention spans aren't 3 minutes and 30 seconds anymore. It's 15 to 20. Like catch them.
To me,
15 to 20 seconds.
I agree with you very much so. I think
music. I still like videos.
I think music videos are still like me too, for sure. Like when I listen to a song for the first time, I do like to watch the video. But in today's day and age, the reason they're still valuable is because you can cut up clips of the video and make it into a 15, 20-second clip, because those are the ones that go viral.
Yeah.
Become viral sounds on TikTok or whatever. And since we're talking about the new era of discovery and how that works, TikTok to me is kind of like when a generation of smokers switched from cigarettes to vaping.
That was crazy.
And let me explain this for a second too, because when TikTok first came out, I feel like there was kind of an attitude towards it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, we already have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Twitter.
It's when MySpace became Facebook.
Sponsored by Zyn.
Sponsored by Zinstagram.
Zinstagram, yeah.
Starting a dating app, by the way, for girls at Zyn. It's called Zinder. Thank you.
Zinder.
Anyway. By the way, I'm taken, so
Yeah.
I love my girlfriend, Allison.
Elzin.
Allison.
Elzin.
Maybe I'm starting.
Ooh, you're cooking on this now.
He is cooking.
He's committed, but if you're not, there you go.
Cool mint, 6 milligrams. All right.
There you go. Yeah, and then know people eventually. The thing about it is that you have to be adaptable, like to
100%.
to how discovery works in the current era. So when people realize, like, no, TikTok is legitimately just the hottest algorithm.
Yeah.
So everybody got on that, and now it's like I haven't quite figured it out. If I'm not gonna lie, I have like 700 followers on TikTok, but I'm at around 2K on Instagram. Instagram is my best platform, but the people who are able to adapt themselves to a new platform are the ones who have the biggest chance of getting that opportunity.
It's Instagram.
It's Instagram. Coming after TikTok. We're going to drop it. It's not going to, okay.
We're doing it.
No,
there you go.
Yeah, I agree. I'm still stubborn. Like I opened a TikTok account so I could do SBG and Overshadow stuff, but I deleted it because I'm like, I can't. I just don't. I don't have the patience. Like
it's a different speed.
There's just so many cringy things that I like. It's I'm again gonna sound like the grumpy, jaded old music dude, but I just don't have the patience. Like,
that's fair.
I mean,
editing videos on TikTok is kind of weird.
Trust me, I get it.
yeah.
I get the appeal. I get the quick hits, the quick clips of people getting dressed to a Moment's Notice song or a Trader song.
I will say
it hurts my brain.
That platform revolutionized doom scrolling. Like that's
sure.
one thing we can give them credit for. It's the most addicting social media platform there is.
Yeah, I will agree.
It fills up the whole screen. It's all about just swipe. And they make it so easy because with Instagram there's a little, you have the caption which is separate from the actual content.
Right.
And it's separated by a little black bar.
Yep.
And there's opportunities for you to pull yourself out of it. TikTok is so immersive. It sucks people in.
It's not even. But that's the thing is that, like, there's things like TikTok, right? And, like, but there's the other side of it. Like, getting new artists, like Joe working with, so many bands now. Like, there's a whole nother side of the industry that people use a platform daily. Mm-hmm. And they still don't know how it works.
Well, because,
Spotify.
I would say Spotify's like the benchmark now, right? Like
Spotify's a benchmark
if you don't get editorials, you're like, oh.
And if people ask you what your audience looks like right now, you talk about your monthly listeners on Spotify.
Yeah.
Right, but then you see like the breakdown of it, and I think that Spotify has a lot of really great tools inside of it. Mm-hmm. Most people don't know those tools exist.
Yep.
Or don't bother to learn how they work.
Like, and that yeah.
Because it's about positive association and exposure, and Spotify has algorithms to put you where people who are likely to enjoy your music.
A Moment's Notice learned. They didn't get an editorial. You got an editorial a week after Blood War came out.
Blood War, yeah. And then
Part made a big difference.
Yeah,
it did.
Big difference.
It did. And we're still on that editorial, which is so cool that they kept us on. Like they could usually kick you off.
It's still. I checked last night. It's still on there. It's like 4 or 5 songs up now from the bottom, but it's still on there.
As we've grown, I think it's getting moved up more, which is really freaking cool. I love that. But then there's, if the pro tip for bands, if you are using DistroKid, there is discovery mode that is accessible by Spotify for artists. There's zero reason why you should have less than 1,000 streams on a song. If it's quality recording and it's a good song, you can use that as a leverage to get you a whole new fan base on Discover Weekly. Mm-hmm. So you listen to bands like, Terror or whatever, and you play in a band kind of like that.
Yep.
Utilize that, and then once you get in enough streams, you can run a campaign. You can run a showcase or a marquee ad, and that's instant radio play. It lumps you into all these other radio plays that are from other bands that are like that.
Yep.
And yes, it costs money.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Sorry. It costs money to build a career.
Yeah, you're unfortunately going to have to spend money to make money.
Yeah, and
it's that whole...
have to do that. And if you do it, there should be zero. If you have good recordings and it's quality music, which a lot of bands that I have seen that do that, they're really good, but then they don't get the streams. And I'm like, well, are you using DistroKid? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, aren't you using Discovery Mode? What's that?
No, Chris that's in Knockdown has an indie project called Porchlight. And I told him, I was like, just write a pitch. Mm-hmm. He's like, what is that? I showed him what I write for you guys and what SPG is used for like Red Star and all those bands. And he wrote a pitch, and Porchlight got placed like 9th on some indie playlist.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, pitches work. I was like, I know. It's unfortunate. Like, that's all it is. It's 2, 3, 4 sentences. Mention a couple bands. Say you're spending money. Mm-hmm. Which secret, you don't have to spend money.
Right, or not as much as you say you are.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, just get in the like pitch. Shan taught me 4 to 6 weeks is ideal pitching period. Mm-hmm. Right. I've done it 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I've done it 10 days, and a playlist lands.
Mm-hmm. And that goes because we were talking to our homie Nate about that, and I was like, he was like, oh, I want to release it in June. I was like, don't do that.
June is right around the corner. You need more time. Let it simmer.
I was like,
you don't want that steak
what
to
did
come
I
out
say? I was
undercooked.
like 6 to 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let Spotify know that it's there.
Yep.
And then pitch it.
Yeah, submit it for release, but leave it in that position for a little while. I mean, because like these tools that are available to you, discovery mode, the name of the game is that whole FFO thing, for fans of.
Yep.
It's product placement.
Yep. You have to be smart about this, and like industry guys like Joe will know these things, and like I had to learn it from Joe. But now that I have the tools, I'm like, bro, like I'm like giving free game away like all the time, and people are like, what? And I'm like, dog, just call me.
Yeah.
I gave you my number for a reason. If you don't utilize this knowledge that I gained from somebody else, don't complain when you get the no's.
And it's so much more necessary too now that music, like the live music industry, I guess, has been around for so long that it's so incredibly oversaturated that, before it wasn't necessary to quite the same degree to place your music with, like other bands that have fans who might also like your music. Right. It's so much more important to make sure it's put in the exact right place in Spotify to where the algorithms will allow the listeners who are already listening to music all the time and understand that Spotify has these algorithmic playlists that'll predict what you might like to allow them to just run into your song.
Dog, I found so many bands from random playlists. It's out of nowhere. Crazy.
I'll drop back to Bayside too. I mean, think of like there's still people discovering Bayside. Bayside's been a band for 25 years now. I still remember the worst show we ever played. I didn't play. I was selling T-shirts and settling. We were in Gainesville, Florida. Bayside was doing a headlining tour with who was on that? The Sleeping. What was it? Bayside, Sleeping, Branson, and Black Maria.
Damn.
We played Gainesville, Florida. I think it was a 17th Street pub. The show started at 10 p.m.
Oh,
and you mentioned 4 bands?
4 bands.
Oh,
I think I don't quote me on this, but I want to say it was a Monday.
Wow, that's even worse.
I can feel waking up the next day.
Just miserable.
I can feel that feeling.
And Bayside had a guarantee, so they were getting paid no matter what, and it wasn't much. There were literally more people on the tour than there were in the venue. I think I want to say Bayside went on at 12:30 at night or in the morning, I guess.
Damn, they didn't probably get off to like 1:10.
At that point, because they only had one record out at that point, other than their like previous stuff. They had a split with Name Taken, and I want to say an EP, and then a full length on Victory. So I want to say they played maybe 10 songs tops in their set, 10 to 12 songs tops. So yeah, Gainesville. They're and like the staff was like, oh, show went well. I was like, dude, there's a 4-band package with minimum 4 members in each band, and there were 3 people in the fucking band
Oh,
that paid.
God, dude.
So for the local bands,
They did give us
when
a-
you
they
start
did-
doing the regional
They did
shit,
give us a keg of beer though.
hey,
Okay.
there you go.
Okay,
So
that's
was,
something.
That was in our green room,
The
which was upstairs above the bar.
for all the local bands, just remember, Bayside. Bayside played to nobody.
I've seen Fall Out Boy in a bowling alley perform in front of 15 people acoustic in Chicago.
That's insane.
So and these are bands.
Chris
that are
reacted to that behind the camera. That's incredible.
like, dog, you're gonna play the show that sucks. You're
Oh, yeah.
gonna play the show that sucks.
There's no way around it, and it doesn't mean you're fucking
I
up either.
guarantee I've been to all of them.
Yeah, like that's just part of the process. You got to start there if you're ever gonna properly appreciate playing a sold out 1,000-cap room.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, dude, we go back to this, and it's like it's so funny because I love to bring them up because yes, I am wearing Sleep Token.
Boo.
Yeah. See, there's 2 types of people.
Deftones in costume.
People that love them and people that hate them.
And obviously, both of those types of people are in this room right now.
And it's good. It's great.
both sides.
I love that. But the funny thing
I just
is,
don't get it.
You don't have to. You
No.
don't. You genuinely.
It's an
don't,
acquired taste, for
yeah.
sure. Very much so.
There's, and that's with any band.
Yeah.
Heavy bands, light bands, like pop punk. Doesn't matter what it is.
No band should expect to impress everybody.
No, I
Nobody.
listen.
Nobody.
I listen to shitty music, and I'm like,
Well, it's good to you.
Yeah,
right? So I mean,
exactly.
that's all that matters.
Exactly.
It's not shitty
I'm like,
music.
I like
it's
it.
just your type, you know.
Right. And so when you see that and you're like, damn, these bands are playing, like Fall Out Boy playing to 15 people in a bowling alley, right? Just remember, the number 1 band right now is Sleep Token in the world.
Yeah.
Is that an actual thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are the number
were number one on
They
Billboard.
beat Selena Gomez, Miley Cyrus.
They knocked down Morgan Wallen. They knocked down
Morgan
somebody.
Wallen, Kendrick Lamar.
No fucking way.
They dethroned Kendrick Lamar
In this year.
in the
Yeah,
Billboard
look,
200.
last week.
Because Kendrick just had like the moment of his career
Exactly.
a few months ago.
This is a band that opened
my
up for
God.
Issues and Polyphia.
That's insane.
I think they played at Holy Diver, didn't they?
Probably.
And then didn't they sell out Wembley?
They
or
sold out
something?
Wembley in 10 minutes.
That's absolutely insane.
And then broke a Guinness Book World Record for most merch sold.
It's like it's unprecedented, that type of success.
No, they announced a stadium tour with no openers named out.
Yeah.
Sold out in 30 minutes.
Just them.
I think that
They
tour,
don't need help.
I think that tour Sleep Token, Moments Notice, and Traders, isn't it?
Imagine.
Bro, I would live a very happy life after that. I'd be like, hey, yo, nothing could happen after this. And I'd be like, hey, bro, we just played stadiums.
I'm starting a cover band called Sleep Joking.
Sleep joking.
And I ain't even playing instruments.
I'll start one called Graders.
There we go.
Bro, like, it's things like that that remind me, like,
Well, then
it doesn't matter how big you are when you get there. The road to there, it's gonna suck.
There's that new band President who I still haven't heard, but apparently
500,000
Yeah.
freaking monthly listeners, and they have one song.
yeah, and the dude wears
I heard
a
the
mask.
name. I haven't heard the song yet.
I haven't
Like,
listened to the song either. The dude wears a mask, and he like just dropped a song randomly out of nowhere. So it's
And they're
got-
on festivals and everything.
Yeah.
Like they must know people, and they must have been in bands prior to this, and then we're like, hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna go do something,
Uh-huh.
something
it's probably
different.
It's probably a dude from Sleep Token.
Maybe, who knows?
Is it the vocalist that?
Yeah, it's a dude. I want to say, it looks like a George Bush mask, but it's just a dude in a mask.
George, but like in The Purge.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yes.
it's like a
Yeah,
purge
yeah.
mask.
Okay.
But like, you look at things like that, and you're just like, damn, dude, like I want to do that, but then you got to put that work in.
Yeah.
Because like,
That's the shit that pisses me off.
I've-
'Cause he's just like, I'm president. Here's a song that's fucking half.
Yeah,
a
and,
million
and
listeners.
we're all out here slumming it. Like I was bumping around my local scene for 8 years before I got anywhere, and then I got hired by a band that's already established, and like that's how I found my way. But it came out of nowhere, and that doesn't ever happen for
Dude,
some people.
Growing up, when I street teamed to victory when I was 14, my goal was to get in fucking liner notes when CDs were a thing. I was like, I just want to be thanked, and I'm thanked in not millions, but
dude,
dozens of liner notes.
A lot of
I'm
places.
Yeah, dozens of I mean, I signed 9 bands of victory when I was there, and I'm thanking those liner notes. Shout out ex-wife who threw away all my CD booklets that were signed. Still got my gold record though.
He does have a gold record for Hawthorne Heights. I
Yeah.
have seen that.
Oh, okay.
And it has his name on it too.
Yeah.
And I saw that. I walked into his
So
apartment and was like,
I
bro.
can't sell it.
Damn, yeah, no, you've already left a legacy. That's
Yeah.
it. It's nice when there's a recognizable paper trail when you hang it up and you're done.
There's I think there might be 3 or 4 people on the first 2 Hawthorne records that are thanked in both liner notes, and I'm one of them.
Love that.
And I didn't do a fucking thing for them. I gave them free merch from the Victory Warehouse.
Hey, man. I mean,
Let people think otherwise.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah,
like-
sorry, oh yeah, no, I signed them. But no, because they sent Tony a demo when they were called A Day in the Life. And my boy Night Beast, who like was their one, I think he was the original bass player, but he was doing merch for a band called Punchline from Pittsburgh, and just grew up with the Hawthorne Heights kids. And next thing you know, they're like they showcase for Victory. Showcases are the weirdest thing ever from Victory.
yeah, tap into that because I have
so-
zero
Showcase.
knowledge.
Tell us.
So Victory, when I worked, I was the only person to be hired 3 times at Victory, because I would work in the warehouse, not quit, but I made up some family emergency excuse, go on tour with the band, come back, and I would email Tony like, I need a job. He's like, yeah, come back, and I will
Tony.
I will shout out Tony Brummel. I don't care what people say about him. I know about his habits and stingy royalties and all that. That man did kind of like mold me into my mentality of we were talking outside. If you have a band on your label in town, there is zero excuse you shouldn't be at that show.
Mm-hmm.
No matter if you like the band, like there are a lot of Victory bands I don't like, but I was at the show.
You're part of a community.
Yeah.
You gotta support it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's like so because like it's invaluable. Like Joe's literally been to every single AMN show. Like doesn't have to be, but he's there. He could be making money, but he's like, no, I'm gonna go see my boys play.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
He's like, I'm gonna see my band.
I Roseville. I work at Goldfield Roseville, part time, and there's a sold out show there on Monday, and I was like, nah, I have to be at the AMN show.
Fair enough. And I mean, you and I just met today, but you live close to here?
I live in Midtown. I live like 3
Okay.
blocks from where Goldfield Midtown is. About,
Okay. Yeah.
Like probably a 20-minute walk from Harlow's, where you guys played.
Nice. Oh wait, we didn't play Harlow's. We played
Starlet.
Starlet Room. Yeah,
We played
it's
Starlet
above,
Room.
It's above Harlow's.
Yeah, we also played Goldfield Roseville in October with Miss May I.
Yeah.
I wasn't at that.
I love
wait.
that room.
No, I think you were.
Was that after? I wasn't at that show.
No, I think you might have been. No, I think you were on the East Coast with.
When was it? When did you guys play there?
Like middle of October. It was In Heart's Wake, Miss May I, us, and Bloom.
I could have sworn you were in Chicago.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's all right either way.
I don't know.
I love that room, and I mean,
That
but
room is so
I love
sick.
that you make a point of that you see the value
Yeah.
in showing up to the shows like that. I'm sure I'll see you around because I'm gonna
Yeah.
once this busted ankle's healed up, I'm gonna be at all kinds of shows. And
Oh, yeah.
Sacramento. I mean, I love living in San Jose. I actually just recently bought tickets to Kublai Khan because they're gonna be at the San Jose Civic Center.
I know. I saw
is
that. I was.
that drain tour?
And I think so. I got to double check the flyer, but I'm not used to being able to go to shows in San Jose. Like there's DIY hardcore shit that happens around there. It's fun.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Sacramento's got such a lively scene
That's
out
the
here.
thing that people don't understand about Sac. Like when people are from here and they're like, Sacramento sucks. I'm like, bro, you have no idea.
No, I
what
think
you're
And actually,
tripping on.
real quick, I just need to, because I'm from the Bay Area, I don't want to act like I don't know my own city, right? Obviously, it's not just little DIY hardcore shit happening in San Jose. Those are the ones that I end up going to, but Bay Area is hardcore town.
Oh,
Like
hardcore
that's
town
if you
for
want to
sure.
go to the most lit shit, like real Bay shit type stuff, like that's what's happening out there.
I mean, Tsunami's from there, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, and
And Eddie is Eddie from Suicide in Alshon Parish is like my homie, and he's like,
Yes.
he goes if he's not playing shows, he's at hardcore shows or promoting that hardcore show.
He's that kind of guy too. I mean, All Shall Perish. I can't remember exactly when this was. It was a few months ago, but All Shall Perish just recently sold out DNA Lounge 2 nights in a row in one weekend.
It was January 3rd and 4th.
That's right at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
And he used to work at DNA Lounge.
Dates and numbers.
Yeah. No, you're going to be a big help on this. He used to work at that venue, and now his band is selling it out without breaking a sweat. Like, I love that type of full circle stuff where the person has not changed.
Yeah.
One bit.
No, he is. He came to a show at Goldfield Roseville. What show was that? 'Cause I was talking to you that night. It was before Overshadow.
Was it Carnifex? No.
I've seen Eddie pull up to the X Bar in Cupertino, dude.
Oh, and Cupertino,
Like
okay, don't get me wrong, I love that venue. I love everything about it.
I don't.
But it is so hard to get people to pull up.
It was a stomping ground for me in my local days. I'll give it the credit for being, for putting local bands on shows for so long, but it's a weird situation. It
is a weird situation.
It's weird that was the place for so long. And
dude, I've had the most wild out-of-pocket shit said to me at that venue.
Where the hell is Cupertino?
It's just north of San Jose.
Okay.
It's maybe 45 minutes south from San Francisco.
Okay.
It's like straight up Silicon Valley, like kind of stuff. Like it's like there's a lot of money there, but there's not a lot of metal listeners there.
It's not the city that you would expect to see pop up on a tour routing. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff happening there.
Yeah. Invent Animate played there, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Spite played there before. I mean, when that room is full, then it looks like a venue. And they have upgraded it. They put a lot of money into it. But my understanding is that Pinup Productions had a relationship with them for a long time. That relationship doesn't exist anymore. That's what happened.
Yeah, but I heard that there's rumors that it's coming back again, and I'm like, cool, I guess, but it's just so hard to pull people there, and the Bay is hardcore stomping ground. Like, let's just be real. Like, I know that metalcore doesn't do as great out there. It's just weird unless you're mega famous. Like, you're not gonna get really much of anything. It's
a tough draw.
It's a tough draw
because a lot of people are coming from surrounding cities to get to this place.
Perfect example here. You went on tour with Attila and Born of Osiris. Mm-hmm. Who else was playing when that date came?
In San Francisco. We got kicked out of not kicked out of San Francisco, but we were going to play the Regency Ballroom. The headliners were Born of Osiris and Attila, and then Traders was direct support. Under us, we had Extortionist and Not Enough Space. Solid tour package. Shouldn't have any issues, right? And then we find out about a week before that show that Knocked Loose is playing.
Are they big?
Nah. They're. I think they've been on Jimmy Kimmel, but no big deal.
Oh, okay. I just saw their opening. I might
have heard of them before.
I just saw their opening from Metallica.
Minorly big.
Yeah, but I don't know if they were playing the Fillmore.
I thought you said Knockdown.
Yeah, no. Jesus. I don't know if they were at the Fillmore or something, but they basically just stole the whole draw.
Yeah.
And
when was that?
It was, I want to say maybe.
It was like a day or two before the Roseville show.
Yeah, so it was maybe late April.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Last year?
Yeah.
Oh, I can tell you exactly when that was.
Okay.
Knocked Loose played the Warfield.
That's what it was.
Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Mother's Day.
I was going to do some Mother's Day shit for my mom at that show, and they pulled it. They said everybody's going to take half their guarantee and just split, go drive straight through the city and on to the next one.
It
I'm
was
like, God damn it.
Knock Loose, Loathe, Show Me the Body, and Speed.
Just in San Francisco, not many packages could compete with that.
That show was sold out as fuck.
As fuck. Not just sold out. As fuck.
And the Warfield's a big place. It's not small.
I was just there last month for Poison the Well and Glassjaw and Better Lovers.
Dude, the Warfield is a very special venue for me because I got to see the Ghost Inside for the first time after never knowing if they were going to come back. And then I was just like, yo, this is tight. And it was with Under Oath and Weekar. And I was like, yeah, We Came as Romans came on. I was like, yeah, this is tight. And then the Ghost Inside came on stage and I was like, yo, this is lit. And then I've gone to so many shows there. I got to see Chiodos there. and I haven't seen Chiodo since way back in the day.
With Hot Dog Heights.
Yeah.
I mean, Hawthorne Heights. Sorry.
Like,
Hot Dog Heights.
I call them Hot Dog Heights.
dude, like,
Old joke.
those guys, like, put on such a good show, too. And I'm like, the Warfield's a very special venue for me because I've gone to it a few times now, and I love going there. Would I play there? Hell yeah. Can I? Not right now, but I want to play the Warfield one day. Like, seeing that, like, I had a manager at one point that was like, I know you don't like San Francisco, but you're going to love the Warfield. And I was like, meh, whatever. Like, it is what it is. And then I saw the Warfield with the Ghost inside, and I was like, I want to play here. I want to play here so bad. I want to play here so bad. Like,
our head of security at Goldfield Roseville used to do security at Warfield, and like his dad also works at Goldfield Roseville and also knows like the GM of the Warfield. So he's like, yeah, if you want to go to Warfield show, let me know. I was like, okay. Text him for that Knock Loose show. I was like, hey, I know it's sold out. It's like, can I get 2 tickets? He's like, 5 minutes later, he's like, you're good. I was like,
It's like that.
Okay.
It's crazy how many things can happen when you know the right person.
dude.
And you know the right people to just like, yeah.
And I mean, I walk into every venue in Sacramento like I'm a fucking player. I'm fucking nobody. I'm a nobody. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I mean,
but I don't fucking. I mean,
yeah.
I don't want.
I think we're all a nobody to a certain extent in our own head.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's tough for me to wrap my head around the way other people see me.
That imposter syndrome shit's crazy.
That's pretty much what it
weird.
is. Because I mean, when I show up to shows these days, in California specifically, you know, people will pick me out of a crowd and come ask me like what Traders is up to, and half the time I forget about that. I'm like, oh yeah, you know, we're playing a Warped Tour, by the way, later this year in Orlando.
Let's go. I'll be there.
But yeah, no, I mean, people, people want to.
I'll do merch.
Dude, yo,
Let me sling some cotton.
hop on the. I'll throw you my carry-on.
I can fold.
Yeah. So I mean, whatever you're involved in, it's creating a shockwave that, you know, other people are seeing what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
And you are so involved in the work, you know, that you're not always going to be thinking about how much of an impression is leaving with other people, and you're building up this reputation for yourself that sticks with other people, and then when they see you in person, they want to catch up with you on all those things they've been hearing about. But you're still so involved in the present moment, you're not thinking about what you already accomplished. You're on to the next thing. So when people see you and they're like, "Yo, you went on this tour with this band, like that's so crazy. What was that like?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, like I'll tell you about it." You know, not that I'm thinking about it, but I wasn't thinking about it till right now.
I think like it goes back to like so many like little moments, like for being in a big band for local scene out here. I got to meet a lot of the younger crowd, and like there's a lot of like younger bands that are coming out of Sacramento, which I'm like, they haven't quite got it just yet, but they're getting good.
I think you're playing with like 3 of them on Monday.
Yeah, like they're close. They know what they're doing. They're kind of figuring it out. It's the first bands, most of these guys, and the imposter syndrome shit kicks in because I'm just dude from band that's out here just trying to get my foot in the door. And they look at me and they're just like, "Bro, we want to do it like you." And I'm like, "Bro, I haven't even figured it out yet. Like, I haven't figured it out yet." Like, Joe taught me so much in this last year that it's so funny whenever we release a song, a week after he's like, "Give me that metadata." I'm just like, damn, we're already in it again.
Yeah, he's creating good habits for you.
Well, it's like now it's rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
But like,
there's a formula, there's a method, absolutely. And
yeah, I told Greg when Overshadow, when we signed A Moment's Notice, I was like it's like you're proud of this work. You put in the work for the song. Like you did so much for this. Nick produced the song, and you did obviously hours of production on the song. It's like, I know you're proud of it. I'm proud of it. I'm happy with it. Unfortunately, we release it on, we'll say, whatever, like April 1st, and it's like April 3rd. It's like, all right, next song. Let's go. Let's go.
It's turn and burn, and people don't know that. Like, and I'm like, bro, the pace. They're like, you made it. You got signed. I'm like, bro, The hard work just started, homie.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's quick.
Our minds are always months down the road because we're focused on keeping this momentum going.
Right.
But people see these numbers growing, and they see that your songs are showing up in more places than they were before, and they think that you figured something out, and now you don't have to do that anymore. But that's happening because of work that we did months ago, and then we're getting to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, because if we stop now, then in a month or two, it's just going to burn out. It's going to be gone.
No, I mean, Overshadow started, I don't know.
January.
December, January.
Yeah.
And
I didn't realize you guys were that new.
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just a branch of SBG Records.
Overshadow started as a distro, and we had one incident where it's like, Shan was like, we need more control of bands.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I get it. And it's not control financially. It's not control like we're like, no, you're doing this, you're doing this. It's a simple. If we tell you to thank Spotify, if we tell you to thank Adobe, whatever. It started in January, or I guess December. Technically, you guys signed in December. And then Shan's like, he's like, okay, let's sign these bands and lay out your release schedule. I was like, huh? He's like, okay. He's like, no, just go through June. I was like, dude, it's fucking January. I was like, I don't have a fucking release schedule. I was like, I got 3 bands that are like, I have songs banked, but I'm like, I don't know what like. I was like, okay, I'll just fucking count to 7. I'll count from January 1st. I'll do 7 weeks and just lay them out. He's like, okay. It's insane because, like I said, I mean, I'm just putting words to paper and sending emails, and both you guys are writing songs and producing and going through hours of production and edits and mixes and master, and like, I'm like, I just fucking put in band's name and a song title on a piece of paper and write these 1-sheets to send to Spotify and send to Apple and send to Adobe, send it.
But see, that's like that's the big like takeaway there. Like, you have to have that person. And when you have that person, it's like, damn, like, you learn so much from these people that I think like that's invaluable lessons that you will see. And when people are like, man, how far are you booked out? You're like, bro, I'm booked out to the end of the year.
Yeah, everything's spoken for.
Everything's spoken for already.
It's not even tours. It's studio time. It's vocal edits. It's mixes. It's
everything has to be on a schedule. And I mean, if you can't keep up with deliverables, exactly. Deadlines in general, you're not going to get that far because there's so many steps to this process. And
you can't be lackadaisical about this shit.
No,
right?
No.
Because, like we say, the months, the work starts months before people actually see anything.
Yeah,
everything. Right. There's so many things that have been lined up, by that point, that people just don't understand how much goes into it. And I mean, we could talk all day about that. But I think we've learned a lot during this conversation. I know you talk to Joe all the time, but this was a great learning experience for me, and I hope we keep talking as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, maybe we'll have him on the podcast again in the future because this conversation's far from over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't even gotten into tour stories.
Right. Shit, we're already at about an hour, and
I actually didn't even tell victory stories.
we're gonna have to have round 2 of Joe Tichy.
Yeah.
On this podcast for sure.
Dude's got knowledge.
Yeah.
That
You said how many years again?
20. I'm 40. 27 and a half. 28. Yeah.
28 years. We're gonna have. You're gonna be on this podcast like 10 times.
I'm in.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean,
it's a 20-minute drive, baby.
Yeah, we got some solid conversation in so far. I think this might be a good place to end it off for now. So, Joe, thank you so much for coming by, man.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
I didn't think I had anything to talk about, but apparently I do.
It's just, see, when you just cameras rolling, mics are hot.
We just have fun here, man. Like,
this is how it is.
This was filmed?
This is going on the YouTubes?
Yep, everywhere. All right, well, and you guys will see it very soon. So, thank you for stopping in for this installment of Make Your Mark, and we'll see you next time.
Rest in peace, Dave Shapiro.